So what do you want?
What do I want? I want to use my degree for good, and in general.
I kind of meant like a muffin or a latte.
I want a job with a generous work-from-grocery-store policy.
You are here a lot.
Debbie, please, I'm working.
I want a job that will change the world.
Ma'am, this is a drive-thru.
And some nuggets.
With LinkedIn's new AI-powered job search, you can find roles that match your unique skills, so you can dare to discover more. Visit linkedin.com/jobs to learn more.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Styles McKenzie helping you make those rooms sing. Today's style tip. When it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild, like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Fierce. This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
You're listening to Achtung Millwall, broadcasting from the beautiful South Birmingham. Accept no substitute.
I think everybody is aware that as a club we're fully connected. You know what I mean? The fans, the team, the club, everybody just wants us to do well and win. And what I will say, the fans showed up in good numbers. They were great, they're vocal, but the players left everything on the pitch. You know what I mean? I'm really, really proud of the players. I thought they absolutely tried. They gave everything for the game. And I just think from that perspective we can't ask much more. The difficulty you've got, it's hard for me to sum it up now because I feel really disappointed for them. But that's what happens at the top end of the level. It's moments, isn't it? You know what I mean? We had our moments first and we didn't take them, and then we got damaged by one moment in the game, and unfortunately it lost us a match.
You know, matched them for large parts of the game. We knew it was going to be tough coming away to the top of the league. You know, I think they won their previous fixture against Leicester, but before that they'd been on a bit of a tricky run. We've obviously been on a good run, so I felt like there was a real opportunity to come here and get a point. Boys are in good spirits off the back of a few good results. But it wasn't meant to be. I just don't think we capitalised on that sort of 15-20 minute spell at the beginning of the second half where we were dominant and had them camped in. Their keeper pulled off a few good saves, the one from Miha, and you know, it's the way it goes sometimes.
There we are, dear listeners. Those were the familiar voices of Alex Neil speaking in the wake of Alex Neil and Billy Mitchell, in actual fact, speaking in the wake of last night's 2-1 loss at Coventry City. Joining me now as a new voice for the show, big welcome actually to some of the stuff I've admired for a while. It's Jay Thomas. Welcome to the show, Jay.
Appreciate it, Nick. Thank you very much for having me.
Disappointed Alex Neil there. I mean, I think those two quotes sum up the game very, very well between Alex and Billy there, Jay. We'll play a lot worse than that, mate, and win this season. It was quite a game last night, I felt.
Yeah, it was, and it's quite a strange feeling at the end of the game, because I actually come away from the game thinking, do you know what? I thought we was excellent. And You don't normally say that after a loss, but, you know, going to top of the league, all right, they've had a bit of a blip, and putting in the performance, what we did with the changes that we made, and, you know, some players coming back from injury, I largely thought we was the better team. Alex's comments summed it up. Billy's comments did as well. And it just kind of reiterates that we're not here to make numbers up. We're here to make a statement. And although we lost the game, I did feel like we did that. And even Lampard's comments kind of echoed what we all come away from thinking of as well.
It's quite striking online. I was just having a quick flick through Twitter, listeners, before I spoke to Jay tonight. There's a lot of you know, whether you want it or not, nice remarks from Coventry fans saying they're the best team that they've seen at the, it's not the Ricoh Stadium, it's the Coventry Building Society Stadium now, Jay. So they're the best team they've seen there, which makes a change because generally people don't like to give us much credit. But I thought we played some excellent football last night. All right, the result didn't go our way, but some of the phases of play that we, especially in the second half, I thought we were really moving the ball at pace and looking very, very dangerous, Jay.
Yeah, we was, and we had our chances. Neil said it, you know, we had our chances, and it was a game of chances. Coventry played a bit of a mid to high block. They saw the threat that Crammer, Sturge, Aziz and Ballo pose out on the wing. They know that's where our threat comes from, and I thought they tried to nullify that with their wide men. They pushed them up high. They kept Crammer, Sturge back, and tried to really limit our balls into our front four. And the problem with doing that was that they did that really effectively, Coventry, but then there was the times where it was we won the ball back on the transition and we was quick to get Aziz through or Ballo through, and even Ivanovic early on that left-hand side, a better ball comes in and and Barrow score. So it was there, and I thought we handled the high press of Coventry really well. We countered really well with pace, with velocity. But as Neil said there, look, we just didn't take our chances. And on another day, 9 times out of 10, we probably win that game 4-5-1. It wasn't to be. Coventry took their chances, fair play to them. And I echo the comments that I don't think they'll play many better teams than us this season. And that's encouraging from our standpoint, considering how we've grown from the last time we played Coventry at home to the point that we're at now.
Certainly been a journey over the season. I thought the quality of some of the stuff we played last night was top drawer. But the league table doesn't lie, Joe, does it? I mean, Coventry City are a very good side, just 4 defeats all season, 61 goals from 28 matches. It's a lot, 58. But they're deservedly top of the table. But it was pleasing to see us go toe-to-toe with them. And I think it was a game, I'm just looking at the quote on the BBC, I think Alex Neil said about fine margins, the cliche, and it's true because, on another day, that second half chance for Ivanovic, which was a good save in actual fact when he was through on the left side, another day that goes in the net. There are other moments where, we could have done a lot better. Femi didn't have he had his moments where he maybe could have done better in the first half. So there's a lot to take away, a lot of positives. And it's a strange feeling to lose a game and come away feeling quite positive, Jay.
It is, and I think the one thing that, while with the transfer windows open, I think one thing that stood out to me was if you look at the substitutions that Coventry made, they made a number of substitutions early on. Around the 70th minute, they brought 3 or 4 players on. That Sakamoto and
decent player,
Thomas Asante, Elias Sims. These start for most clubs in the Championship. Most of them, they've all got 10 goals between them. And I thought the subs that we made, we brought Casper on, who's not really fit to play a full game in the 74th. And I just felt that the subs we made were probably too late, but I thought we was in the game. So there's nothing on Neil to say, why change it if we are still in the game and we was playing well. But I just think the depth that Coventry have in their squad, the quality that they have to replace these players, was probably the one thing that did set us apart, because it enabled them with the fresh legs to pin us back a little bit. They got their chance and they took it, because we are a bit of a tired outfit at the moment, and fair play to the boys. They give everything and leave every ounce of themselves on that field. But the depth did show. It did show. And I think that's good while the window's open. It will still pose some questions, because there has been questions over the depth. But to like you said, Nick, to come away from that game on a defeat and be as positive as we are, and the club, the staff, the players still hold that positivity, will stand us in good stead going into the sort of business end of the season, because we've been on the end of these results before, and it's even this season, and it's felt like the world has been ending. It's good to turn that corner that we know we're good enough, and that was
still
a good
in the
performance.
game. Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously, it had to be Romain Esse who got the opening goal, Jay, didn't it? They say your fate is written in a big book in the stars somewhere, and I think it was always going to be so that Romain. And you mentioned quality, Jay. I think that's a great signing to bring into your squad this stage of the season. The team that's already it's had a bit of a flutter, isn't it, Coventry? I think they had a few poorer results by their standards recently, but to bring in a Premier League player, which is what he is. I know he's not had the greatest of times there at Crystal Palace, but he's a very good player, we know that, and he showed it. I thought actually tried a little bit too hard, I think, to the goal was close to finish, but I thought overall he probably wasn't as effective as I might have expected him to be, because he was just trying a little bit too hard, because it's Millwall and he's got the connections here.
Yeah, and let's credit to Zach Sturge. I thought Sturge struggled to deal with him at times in the first half. He popped up at the back post a couple of times, in the first half. It's where he got his goal as well. But after that, after a sort of the honeymoon period, or the nerves settled for SA a little bit, I felt Sturge dealt with him fairly well. I thought Barrow gave a bit of support to Sturge as well, and I largely thought we took him out of the game. And I thought it was when Haji Wright sort of took over and they kind of went a bit of a higher block and a bit more of a press that we come undone. But yeah, good signing for them, really good signing for them. anyone that's going to keep Sakamoto out of the starting 11 has to be a good player, because I think Sakamoto's a fantastic player for Coventry, who's caused us many problems in the past. So, yeah, the depth was there. They've made some good signings. They're up the top for a reason. And this blip, they're so far ahead, like you said, plus 60 goals. A blip to them at this stage is not really a blip as it would be to other teams in this position because of the point differential and the goal difference. So they've turned it around, 2 wins on the spin. Fair play to them. They're a fantastic outfit. They've took 6 points off us, but we have got to be positive because that was a brilliant performance last night.
Agree, 100%. Just while we've got Romain on our lips, there's a bit of pearl clutching going online about him celebrating, Jay. I don't get, for a club that prides itself on its ability to dish it out, you've got to be able to take it, kids out there, and whacking, if Romain's got a goal, he looks like he's playing with a weight lifted off his shoulders, and I don't blame him for that. Who wants to play at Crystal Palace in the end? But he looks like he's playing with some freedom. He's got a management team in Lampard and Edwards who are looking to bring the best out of him. And he scored a goal when people have been slating. At Crystal Palace last year, or last season, wasn't it? Everyone's singing "Race is better than you" and all the other words under the sun. You can't expect him not to react. I mean, but people get a bit on their high horse. I find it quite weird at the Den sometimes.
Yeah, look, I understand it. Football is, while it's it's a sport, it's also a pantomime. It has that
description.
It has that about it. He's behind you, and fair play to SA, because there's been plenty of players, Nick, that have left us before, and they've all got the Millwall flu. And SA is above it. He played against us for Palace. He did get complete stick the entire game, and he did last night. But look, fair play to him. He gave us a little bit of stick back. I would expect nothing less. In fact, I'd probably be angry if he didn't give us any stick. He had a little laugh while he did it. It wasn't too much. He didn't go over the top. He actually said some kind words after the game
saw that online as well.
Yeah, Twitter, to say, he enjoyed his time here. He understands where he's from. I don't really get why people have got the ump about it. Jed Wallace has reacted far worse to goad the fans, but we all love Jed for the same reason. So, I've got no problems with Romain SA. I have a problem that we keep talking about him. He hasn't been our player for a while now, and he's played for 2 clubs since us. So I'd like to just forget about him a little bit.
Move along. That's a good advice. I like that advice. And
move on. But no, fair play.
I second that emotion. Anyone listening out there that gets involved in that. The equaliser. I've got to say, Jay, that was a thing of beauty. That was a ball and a touch worthy of the very best. And it's not often been able to say that at the Den, is it? I mean, the quality. I'm talking about the quality of some of our play last night. That was a prime example. Hang it in the Louvre, as they say, in the art gallery. Beautiful goal.
It's fantastic, and it speaks to, again, Coventry playing that high press, pinning our wing backs back, and we saw the opportunity. We broke really quickly. It's a great ball out to Femi. We know he's got it in his locker. He had a couple chances last night, and I thought, oh, come on, Femi. If I wanted that to fall to anyone, it would be you. You've got to do better. But then he pops up with such a sublime ball. And Ivanovic has had his critics this season. But I think over the injury period, where we've had a lot of injuries, and he's played every single minute up there on his own. He's been battered, pulled left, right and centre. He's been putting shift after shift in. That last night, that finish, even though he missed the one late on, which was a great save from Rushworth, that finish alone is why he starts for us every week. It's an absolutely unbelievable finish.
He's been playing in a very lonely position, the sole striker in the Championship. As you've just said, it's a physical endurance test. I've been watching the SAS going up the mountains, and it looks like that kind of level of endurance. You've got to hold your own against seasoned defensive professionals. And he's not come from a football culture where that is a role that's played that often, Jay. What we saw last night was his football culture, the touch, the finish, the artistic side. So I think he's done really well. I don't get why people dig him out sometimes. I think it's just I think people don't know what to say sometimes and want to,
No, I think people watch a different game, Nick, because they seem to think, he's got to turn and beat 3 or 4 players, get all these shots away. We're not that type of team. We're very much a wing-based team. We like to get the ball out wide, and we like to cut in, get the ball into the box and feed off of scraps, off of, clearances, second balls and things like that. We don't really play through the middle or into the channels and play Ivanovic in behind. We tend to do that through our wing play and our cutting in. And Ivanovic has to do a lot. He has to hold the ball up. He has to bring others into play. As you said, it's a lonely man's game up there. It's really difficult for him. But for how young he is, he hasn't played many games even still. His second year in English football, and he really played half the year last time or quarter of the year last year. It's been a really tiresome time for him. I think he's handled it well. I think he's played well. He's a big reason why we're in this position, because defences do fear him. They have to account for him. And we've seen last night that when you put the ball on the money for him, he can make it happen. He's got 6 goals now. He's starting to come alive a little bit. Coburn coming back will enforce competition more. Iron sharpens iron. So Coburn's looked pretty fresh since he's come back. 2 goals now in his last 2. So that room's getting healthy. That room's getting more competitive. I don't think we've seen the best of Ivanovic yet, and he was brilliant last night. And people could say he should have finished that chance late on, or he should have squared a better ball to
The
Ballo.
one that
It
was
was
saved.
a fantastic save. It's a brilliant
I was going to say
save.
that would be harsh, because I think it was a brilliant save more than a bad shot. It was on target,
Absolutely.
and the goalkeeper did well. That was a very, very good save. There's a couple of chances after that. I think Ballo had a header, and Aziz had a volley. But there it was, the goal, the 2-1 goal. I mean, we dodged a bit of a bullet at the start of the second half, Jay. There was an offside call, I think, against SA for them, where I think maybe we dodged a slight bullet there, but I think they've just brought on the quality from the bench and worked the chance that they got in the end. And close range finish from Haji Wright, the man who's haunted us this season. 2-1, and there it was. But I can't get away from this odd idea that we've lost a game and played really, really well.
I remember it a few years ago, Nick. I think remember when Birmingham, I think, slapped us 5-0, I think, at the Den, and we actually applauded the players off the pitch because we did everything but win the game. I think we hit the post 3 times. I think we hit the bar cup. We did everything but win that game, and they just took their chances. I think very much last night was very similar to that. We played really, really well, and it just wasn't our night.
It was not our night. We're up against a decent side. We are in the midst of a transfer window, listeners out there. And I think there's obviously increasing calls online for signings, Jay. I mean, I was looking at the team last night and I was thinking, well, we want to improve. That's the whole point of bringing somebody in is twofold. One, you can't afford to be developing players if we're going to go for a promotion this season, which has to be the aim, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So you're going to want to bring in someone who's able to come straight in and play. Barry Bannon has been mentioned. I don't know if that's going to be a thing or not, and the Sunderland goalkeeper. I was thinking the left side, but Ballo, and I'm not here to dig out players because I like Ballo. I think he's got a lot of talent.
Yeah.
He needs to get stronger, Jay, and I think the left side is an area. Would you agree? I mean, is that where you would focus your attention in his side?
Absolutely, 100%. I think we all want signings, right? But if you look at our squad, who are you going to put out? If you sign this signing to start, who are you going to drop? You can't just sign players that are going to start every week. We agreed that last night's difference was the depth. Okay, so we probably do need to bring in a couple of depth pieces because I feel if Femi goes down, we're in trouble on that right-hand side. I feel that we're probably start weaker on that left-hand side with Ballo and Emarku. Not a disrespect to him, Emarku's done a job while Aziz was injured, and we won a lot of games. I just feel like Nick, that we're quite weak there, and I think that we need someone behind Femi that if Femi goes down, we don't lose too much rhythm or we don't upset the apple cart too much. But in terms of everywhere else, centre-back, central midfield, I think up front we could probably do with a different profile striker maybe. I do think we're okay. I just think we need a couple depth pieces that we can rotate more often and we don't skip a beat when we do. And I just feel if Aziz comes off or we have a bad day on that left-hand side, that tends to be where we lose the game or where we don't create enough goal-scoring opportunities because we lose Femi's output. So I just think people are probably expecting a bit more than previous windows, whereas we've had to revolutionise the squad in previous windows, sign 10, 11, 12 players that would come and start. We're not really looking for big stars or starters. We're looking for really good pieces that complement the side, that can come in when needed, that we can freshen the squad up. And I think someone like Barry Bannon, as you mentioned, would be a really, really good signing. He'd be plug and play. He's top 5 in the championship for chances created. He's still an excellent player in this division. And with our fullbacks, our wingers, our strikers, he would do wonders in this side. So I think them type of profile of players are what we need. Someone that might not start every week, but gives us something different. And I just think people are setting themselves up for disappointment if they're expecting the last 2 windows to happen. I don't think we're getting that at all.
No, and people mentioned Langstaff. I clearly he's come from a lower level, and I think he gives 100%. I would say the same about Ballo. Langstaff and Ballo both give you and Marco give you 100%. I've got no quibble or query on their, as Alex Neil said at the start of our conversation, they leave it on the pitch. So it's just the quality. And I think that's what separated the two sides last night. It's just that indefinable X factor, isn't it? And finding that is not easy, Jay. I mean, we talk about, goal scorers. Well, whole of Europe is looking for goal scorers. Who isn't looking for a top goal scorer? And so only that club. So I don't think it's easy to, we're going to be, if we can make signings other than the likes of a Bannon, or I don't know any others off the top of my head, but we're probably looking at lesser known players abroad, which won't excite the public. It's going to be an interesting window. We've still got 10 more days of it to go, haven't we? 11 days, perhaps.
It will be interesting. I expect a striker to come in. I do expect a striker. We're linked with a few strikers. We're linked with Lauritsen out in Sparta Rotterdam. Negley might have a word there. The young man at Sheffield Wednesday as well, maybe looking to cash in. Not prolific, but maybe a different profile. You've also got to look that Neil he loves to play 2 up top. And at the moment, he can't really do that because we've got Ivanovic, Coburn and Langstaff. There is no one else behind. If one of them gets injured, we're crippled again. So I think he'd like to bring maybe 1 or 2 in. Maybe one goes. I don't know. Like you said, it's not through application, through effort or through determination. It's teams won't survive or won't go up if they're not cutthroat. We saw it with Sunderland, got promoted to the Premier League. Everyone that got them there, if they weren't good enough, sadly, they're not getting games. Patterson, Dan Neil, they're falling victim to that. We might benefit from that because Patterson might come to Millwall. He's a really good goalkeeper. But I think we've got to adopt some of that sort of mentality that we've got a chance here and we need to have the quality as well as the application. And, while some of the guys that we've mentioned do apply themselves, would we kick ourselves if we didn't find someone that can take us over the edge above them? Maybe we will.
Tremendous spirit. That's what you can't buy in this squad. No. That's something that is beyond price, and we've got it at the moment. So disappointing result last night. On to Charlton on Saturday. That's not going to take lightly, Jay. I mean, I know that there's always panto's a good word. We used it earlier on in that conversation. There was a touch of the pantomime with the visit of the addicts, but and the record, the 30-odd years record, has to go sometime. We got nothing lasts forever in this life. Maybe not Saturday. Let's just get through one more Saturday with it intact. Yeah, big 3 points if we can put them to the sword, because it really maintains our push. I mean, sitting 5th as you and I speak tonight, Jay, with a 4-point gap to Watford in 7th, just outside the playoff spot. So Saturday's a big game, one we want to win, and I'm looking forward to it Saturday.
Massive game. Look, and if we could take 6 points out of this week, Watford away, Coventry away, Charlton at home, I think that'd be a fantastic return. Charlton are dealing with some injuries themselves. Lloyd Jones, their main defender, they're probably arguably their talisman, their glue. He didn't make the second half in their game, in their defeat to Derby last night. I've seen a lot online worrying about him. They've just signed their left back. Lyndon Dykes is a player that I think causes us problems. He's a big physical forward. Yeah. Someone I would have liked down here, Nick, someone in that Kiefer Moore conversation, I think would just change sort of the attacking outlook for a team. You go more route one. So I think we'll see a bit more of a route 1-4-4-2 type style of game from Charlton. But I just think that if we just perform like we did last night, I don't think we'll lose many more games this season. And I definitely don't think it will start Saturday if we did.
Jay, it's been fantastic talking to you tonight, mate. Really appreciate your time. In the wake of 2-1 win, a 2-1 loss.
Nick, the thing is, it feels like that. We played that well. It feels like that. That's we've been so positive about it. It's almost like it's a win.
when I do these interviews, listeners, I always say to people that I'll edit anything out that you wish you hadn't have said afterwards. But I'm going to leave that in. I always edit it to make me sound like the most intelligent bloke in the room, but I'm going to leave that in because I'm not, and sometimes I'm the most stupid bloke in the room. Big thank you, Jay.
I appreciate it, Nick.
Let's do this again sometime, mate. Jay Thomas, thank you. We'll be back after these messages, listeners, with the voicemail. Stay tuned.
You walk in tired and hungry, one bad dinner away from losing it. You don't like to cook. You don't want more takeout. You just want something good. That's why there's Dish by Blue Apron. Pre-made meals with at least 20 grams of protein and no artificial flavors or colors. From fridge to fork in 5 minutes or less. Keep the flavor. Ditch the subscription. Get 20% off your first 2 orders with code APRON20. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
Hello. Morning, Nick. It's Hasan here. Yeah, just a quick reaction on the game from last night. Frustrating one, really. Getting into it, I would have taken a draw, and I thought we deserved at least a draw last night based on our performance. Unfortunately, Coventry, they're top of the league for a reason. Even when they're not playing well, they still manage to get a goal when it counts, and I think that was the difference maker last night. They had very few chances, and when they did get a chance, they took it. Their strength in depth is fantastic, really, to bring on quality like the likes of Sakamoto, Thomas Asante, Ellis Sims. It's only something that we can dream of. And we've got good strength in depth, but they were another level. And I read this morning that between Haji Wright, who got the winning goal, between Ellis Sims and Asante, they got 30 goals between them. I mean, that's just amazing, considering 2 of those players didn't even start. They came off the bench. That was probably the difference maker last night. We had our moments. I think Alex Neil called it moments, and it's true. From about 50 something minutes up until about 65, we dominated Coventry, had plenty of possession. They were so open, and I personally think we just didn't exploit it enough. Going into the game, I was reading Alex Neil's comments. It sounded like he was happy to rest players and see how it goes, type of game. I think he's got one eye on Saturday's game against Watford. We won 2-0. That was a grueling match. So I didn't think he wanted to go. I don't think he wanted to go full pelt. I believe that if he did go, balls to the wall, we could have won last night. But he held players back on purpose. I did think the substitutes took a bit too long to come in. There was a period where Ivanovic had to go off. I thought he looked done after a while. I thought Bello had to come off, and we left it really late. By that time, the game was changing. They already made their subs, and we didn't do it in time. But it's if anyone at the club is listening to these interviews and watching these games, if you really want to get in the playoffs and compete at the top 6, you need people who are going to score in those critical moments. And the transfer window is still open. We haven't really been linked with anyone. I think we're only 1 or 2 players away from being a solid top 6 side. We're there or thereabouts already with this group, but there are still a few weak spots. I'm looking at players like Ballo. He had moments last night again, but he's just too lightweight, and he's not on the same wavelength as Aziz. Aziz has stepped up his game massively since he's joined the club, and he's probably our best player. And we need someone of a similar ilk to him on the left-hand side, and we don't have that in Ballo, and we don't have that in Amaku, I'm afraid. So that's something to look at. And I think also Langstaff, again, we know about his effort, but I think he got showed up a little bit last night. There was just certain moments where he had the ball, and someone with a bit more quality maybe would have made something more of it, but it is what it is. But I thought positives. I thought Taylor was immense. I thought Cooper had a good game. I thought Billy Mitchell was probably man of the match, controlled the midfield very well. I thought Negley played well, get the ball away a couple of times, but always trying to move forward and look positive. Aziz was very threatening all game. Kramer was all right. He had a few moments. I think this is where not being a natural attacking right back comes from. He makes these great runs, but sometimes where you're right, want him to spread the ball wide or get a crossing, he just runs straight into a player. And yeah, I'm not going to knock him. So far he's our player of the season. So I'm not going to knock him too much, but it's just something there. I thought, he needs a little bit more composure when he gets on those marauding runs. A little bit more composure and a bit more awareness to see what's around you. But otherwise, I'm proud of the boys last night. Another great effort, and it puts us in. Even though we lost, it puts us in good stead for Saturday's game. If we can match those levels and take our chances, we can get another result on Saturday. Cheers, Nick. All the best.
Morning, Nick. Just wanted to call in. Jaime Downs calling in from about last night's game against Cov. Fucking hell, mate. I felt like I was last night. I do this morning. It's a weird one. I mean, I don't actually feel too disappointed in the result. I'm more disappointed that you feel for the players. I think they deserved more out of that last night. At least a draw. And you could argue a win. I spoke to my niece's boyfriend after the game. He's a Coventry fan, and even he thought we were the better team. When Ivanovic went through to start and had that chance and went to square it to Ballo and mucked it up, I was shouting at the telly because I thought, you know what, we're going to have hardly any chances in this game, and that was a massive one. But we had a lot more. I thought it'd be a game where we'd just sit in and get one or two chances and try and nick a 1-0. But no, I think we could have scored 3-4 goals. I think they all played well. My only concern was probably Ballo again. Could have done more. I mean, he was similar to the Watford game when he sort of done okay, but if you had to line them all up and thought who done the best and who was the weakest, you'd probably put him down the weaker end. But just a bit gutted now. I hope they don't feel gutted and they can go into Saturday and go again, because they should do. They should take a lot of credit out of that and a lot of heart out of that. But yeah, if it will be forgotten, I think I said and listened to a lot of fans, if we can get 6 points from those 3 games, then you would have took it big time. So I think they just got to go in, get that 3 points on Saturday, and then that's a good run or a block of 3 games and 6 points. So, but yeah, I thought they were done really well. So yeah, go again. Hopefully, chins up, boys, and get 3 points on Saturday, eh?
Nick, Aussie Dave after the Coventry game. Excellent performance, crap result. Thought we deserved at least a draw, though Fat Frank said after the match he thought Coventry deserved a win, but there you go, rose-tinted glasses. So overall, we played okay, and if it weren't for poor finishing, I think we would have got all 3 points. 5 quick points. First one, that's 2 games in a row we've played really well. How often have we done that, been top, and particularly both away from home? And that's because we've now got the full squad playing and available, which is encouraging for the rest of the season, if no injuries. Second point, Alex Neil tactics again spot on, got the pressing going, and there's great movement around the pitch now, and obviously that must be through training, but he's keeping it up, and it will help us for the next remaining games. Third point, players from yesterday. I thought all the first 11 played well. Question mark against Crocombe, which I'll come on to in a minute. My man of the match again was the same one I gave for Watford, and that was Negley. Everywhere, put a great pass in, very calm on the ball. I thought Mitchell was a close second, and he played well. And a shout out for Sturge. I thought he was good, dealing with Hasan and Sakamoto, and he was very good going forward and probably should have scored. Fourth point, here's a rare one. thought the referee was quite good. So why not give it praise where it's due? It didn't fall for the falling over of Redoni and some other players on the Coventry side. Fifth and final point, I think the key difference in the Coventry game is reflected in two players. The first one is the goalies. Rushworth, who did some great saves, particularly one from Ivanovic against Crocombe, who I think I've got question marks about the second goal. It was close to him, just weak hands. And the second comparison is substitute wingers. They brought on Sakamoto, who looked really good and made their second goal against Umaku, who the odd time he had the ball in prominent positions, you knew he'd stuff it up, and he did. So it's not surprising that the transfer rumours, you hear we're looking for a goalkeeper and we're looking for forward wingers. And if we just get those couple of things sorted out, we're going to have a great squad going into the final part of the season. So overall, not downhearted, and we've had encouraging away performances against Watford and Coventry, who are both in the top 8. And we've got to play most of the other top 8 teams away. So that's very encouraging. Anyway, on to Charlton. Come on, you Lions.
Hello, Nick. Hello, listeners. John Rankin just calling in with a quick reaction to that disappointing 2-1 loss at the Coventry Arena. Yeah, I mean, 28,000 in there tonight, and it's a well-supported club, Coventry. They got behind their team. But I've got to say, standing in the crowd, and watching the match, I thought we gave it a real go, and everyone played really well. We looked good in defence. We were busy in midfield. And, we got into the box and created chances. If we'd have just taken a couple of our chances, it would have been a different story. And Coventry wheeled on a few big hitters, Ellis, Sims, etc., late on in the game and come and clinched it 2-1. They're a very good team. You can see the way they play football. Very hard side to play against because they'll tire you out. And they play very, very possession-based, creative, intelligent football, pushing the ball around, moving you around as a team. And, you can see why they're top of the table. But I thought we played really well. We did our usual low block, all bodies behind the ball, leaving one man up front and inviting the pressure on and then breaking quickly down the flanks. And I thought it worked. We created some lovely chances. The only sort of minor criticism I got is that I think I couldn't quite understand Alex Neil's selection. I would have started Doherty. I probably would have, although he scored a nice goal, I would have started Coburn, or certainly brought Coburn on a bit earlier. I think Macaulay Langstaff got a bit found out in this game. I don't think it was the right game for him, to be honest with you. I wouldn't have started him. The reason being that you can run around all you like. That's going to suit Coventry down to a T because they're very comfortable on the ball and the defenders will just play triangles around you and you'll just run round, like an headless chicken, which is what he did. Bless him. He really put a lot of effort in. I don't mean to be disparaging. He had a couple of chances and he didn't finish them. And I think with Macaulay Langstaff, you're playing him for his energy and his commitment and his attitude and his, and all those things. But I don't think against Coventry he's going to really, really create much. I would have played someone else in there. I may have even gone for a 2 up front just to give them something more to think about. I think, if anything, Coventry were a little bit weak defensively, and I think we could have opened them up if maybe we would have had a 2 up top. I thought Negley played well. I think, Aziz didn't really have his shooting boots on tonight. A couple of chances there and not his usual clinical self, and that told the story, really. We got no one to fear in this division, and I think we're certainly good value for the playoffs. I'll be disappointed if we don't make the playoffs. We need to really stuff it to Charlton on Saturday at the Den, start getting our goal differences and our points tally up, and go on to all of our matches now. Really hammer home our advantage. We've got some good players. They're all coming on sold now. and I think it's going to be a very interesting running. So, a little bit disappointed. I thought we deserved to come away from that match with a point, to be honest with you. I thought we were, on balance, a better team. Coventry just brought their big hitters on, with 20 minutes to go and did the business. There you are. So anyway, onward and upward. Come on, you Lions.
Well, Nick, a great contest, a great advert for Championship football, a brilliant Millwall performance to go toe-to-toe with the division's pace setters who averaged 2 goals per game. This felt, to me, very much like our outstanding performance in the Palace game in the League Cup earlier this season. It was a shame that we couldn't convert one more of those chances. But with every game now, we are improving as far as I can see and building as a team. We're growing. And especially now when we are in possession of the football. We played some lovely stuff last night in transition. And after last night's performance, I'm much more confident now about reaching the playoffs than at any other time this season. Even though before Saturday's game, we might be just 2 points off the team in 7th place. And we also have that ridiculous goal difference. But 73 points is normally enough to make the top 6. So let's say another 27 points are needed from 18 games. What's that, 9 wins? We have 9 home games. It's all in our own hands. We won't win them all, of course, but our style of football in transition will pick up bonus points on the road, I'm sure. But it's the games at the Den which will decide our fate. So let's start with a win on Saturday against that lot. Come on, you Lions!
Well, there we go. A 2-1 away defeat to Coventry City. But that is no shame because the mighty Millwall played so well. And in fact, we didn't deserve a 2-1 defeat. We probably deserved a draw. And the other thing I want to highlight was the performance of Christian Kramer. What a great performance that was from him. He was my personal man of the match. I guess others might disagree, but I don't really care. And the other thing, of course, I wish to highlight is the fantastic goal from Mihailo Ivanovic. Ball came over the top of the defender. He stuck a leg out. Now, if he'd have put his laces through it, it would have flown into the crowd. But he didn't. He just stuck a leg out, and he had the most delicate little chip straight over the keeper to bring us back to 1-1. And we all know, don't we, that if Roman Esse played, he would have scored against us. And so it happened. But there you go. I'll forgive him that one. But no, a really, really good competitive performance from Millwall. And I guess Coventry will hopefully recognise that they've been in a really tough game tonight and that Millwall are not the mugs that they overturned 4-0 earlier in the season, and we've improved a lot. Still, onwards and upwards. We have Charlton next. You'll never beat the Millwall. Come on, you lads.
Morning, Nick, Rob Abbott. Wow. That was a seriously good performance by us last night. Very enjoyable to watch. Not only were we spraying the ball around, counter-attacking at pace and intent, the work rate from every single player was phenomenal. It's just gutting we didn't get anything from that game, hey? We had Coventry on the ropes. We just couldn't finish them off. We weren't clinical enough there. Then we got sucker punched at the end to come away with 0 points. But look, all season I've said ups and downs. The up was that after a fantastic performance at the weekend against Woodford, we had another fantastic performance. The down was that we have come away with 0 points. But on Saturday, huge game at home against Charlton. I'll be across for that, so looking forward to the day. Hopefully we get back to winning ways. And I'm sure Alex Neil is taking this one game at a time. Can't help but look after Charlton, our run of 5 games after the Charlton game. Apart from Wrexham away, we've got 4 teams all towards the bottom half of the table, and 3 of them at home. So let's get back to winning ways Saturday, and then go from there. But look, I think we've shown the whole league since 2026 that we deserve to be in and around the top 6 in contention here, because the way we're playing is absolutely outstanding. As Alex Neil alluded to before that game, there was going to be a few changes. I foresee a few more changes on Saturday. I think Doughty will come back in at left back, even though Sturridge was brilliant. And maybe Casper will start and Egler be pushed further up the pitch. But looking forward to that. Hope all is well, and chat with you soon.
Hey there, Nick. Jim Hackett here. Game's just finished, so I thought I'd just ring in and say it was a game. I think we were unlucky to lose. I think both sides were quite decent. We played very well. They played okay. You can see the difference in them and some of the other teams we play against, the way they move the ball and find those little pockets. But even though we played probably as well as we have done not for a while, but just in fact most of the season, as we get in there now, when we got everybody out there, we're not too bad. I think the biggest difference tonight, you could see as soon as they brought their subs on, they were dangerous. They brought strikers on or forward players on, like the little Japanese lad and the striker and somebody else, and was it Asante Thomas and somebody on the left-hand side, and it just looked so much better than our substitutes. I know Coburn did his little bit, but I mean, when you put in Marco up against their subs, then I think you could see as soon as he came on, we were sort of dead in the water on that side, because everything he did, it just didn't work out for us. And there was one point where he lost the ball, and I just noticed he didn't chase back at all. He just sort of jogged back, and I think we've really got to worry about that, because it's a player who's obviously his confidence is lacking, and we're putting him on to be some sort of impact sub and help us. But today he really didn't, and that's not digging him out. It's just, unfortunately, that I think the lads just could do with a loan period just to sort his confidence out and get him firing again, because we're not getting anything out of him now. And then the rest of the game, once he went 2-1 up, I thought they looked quite comfortable. We had our chances, I think, during the game itself. I know Mihailo scored a fantastic goal, but there were twice where he was actually got into the box, and if he just put the ball square to one of our players, we'd have walked it into the net. And then I think he got caught offside on one of them as well, where looking across the line he shouldn't be, and it's nitpicking now. But unfortunately, I thought we were unlucky to lose. Coventry are a good side, but there's nothing between the two teams, if you like. It's just that depth of squad is catching us out in the big game like that, and hopefully we'll be all right. We go to Charlton, and he's rested or seems to manage the minutes of some of the players today, and hopefully we'll benefit from that on Saturday. But if we carry on playing like that, we'll be well in the playoffs. I can't see any problem there, because we're a decent side. Everybody seems to know their job. Everybody played their part. Even Ballo tonight, I know I give him a bit of a hard time for Saturday, because he looks lightweight when he's going forward. But to be fair to him, tonight he put a good shift in, and he looked dangerous going forward. So, everybody's got their part to play in this. And what we've got to do is hope that we keep our big players fit, get them into the games like Saturday, win those games, and we'll get into the playoffs without too much of a problem. Just disappointing with the result tonight, but I don't think anybody could be too damning of our team for the goals that we let in and our performance all round. So, as disappointed as it was Coventry. They are sort of romping the league as we speak, and we're probably not looking at top spot. We might not even be looking at second spot, but playoffs we're definitely looking there, and I think we'll get there. And I think we'll get there because we're better than a lot of teams, and good on Alex Neil. But we just got to get those little differences, with our bench. If we can just get a player or two in just to help us, then I think we'll be all right. But apart from that, I'm not overly disappointed tonight. Disappointed with the result, but performance-wise, quite happy, and roll on Saturday and see if we can stuff Charlton. Okay, come on, you Lions.
Hi, Nick. Matt Richards. Just give my thoughts on tonight's game. I guess it's it's what might have been really. That's the frustration. On the face of it, you look at the performance. The performance was really strong. Much of the game we dominated the side, which is what points ahead at the top of the table, away from home. So you've got to take the positives from that, And some of the players, our first choice players, were rested. So loads of positives. Frustrations were similar frustrations that we weren't as clinical as we'd want to be. Great goal by Ivanovic. But it's the ones that we miss, Zach Sturge's shot, Ivanovic when he's through on goal. Aziz had a chance in the first half, and not just that really. We got in some really good positions, but we just keep straying offside. Ivanovic and Marku and Aziz, all players, not just one, but the frustrations with the game, a really open game, and there was many chances, we had an overload and we could have just played the ball through, but we just kept getting caught offside. And I think that's the frustration tonight. I think leave it a day or two and then you look back and it's good performance. And the team will take confidence from outplaying a team like Coventry for large parts of that match. And then the most important thing is we look forward to obviously Saturday and the game against Sheffield United, and feel as if with those sort of performances we put in against Watford and again tonight, we have to be winning those next couple of games, and hopefully we'll have Coburn back. Perhaps he'll start on Saturday. You would have thought so. Definitely Casper hopefully would be starting, and Alfie Doughty as well. I think we missed him tonight on the left. I thought Sturge did okay against SA. So I'm not too disheartened. I think it's just frustration because we should have come away with something, or the performance deserved us coming away with something. But there's lots of matches to play. We don't win or lose promotion tonight. It's at the end of the season, and if we can carry on this momentum, players, first choice players, come back fit, and we, fingers crossed, get some players in. And I'm still positive. So, that's it for me, Nick. Fingers crossed, a better result on Saturday. Cheers, mate. Come on your lines.
Hi, Nick. Jaime calling from Australia after watching Millwall sadly go down 2-1 against Coventry, which could have been on another day a good battling draw, which I think would have been a fair result. I think we matched Coventry in most departments. I think maybe the telling part was maybe they had a bit more of a cutting edge up front, but we knew that before we started. But we looked good in defence. I thought the midfield looked good. We posed some threats out wide. But the one player I'd like to particularly mention is Negley, because he does a few little bits that probably go unnoticed. And I think it was in the 28th minute was the one I really liked. And I've seen him do it in the last game, is he sort of just wanders through the midfield and then almost nonchalantly puts the ball between a player's legs and it goes out wide. And he kind of consistently does it. But disappointing. Did we expect to win? Probably not. When we were 1-0 down, did I think we was going to get back in it? Probably not. So all in all, we roll on. If we beat the NRX at the weekend, then 6 points from the last 9, considering the opposition, is pretty good. Anyway, thanks, Nick. Bye-bye.
Right, Nick, it's Lawrence Binnie calling in after Coventry City 2, Millwall 1. Oh, that really hurt, that one. I didn't expect it to hurt as much as it did. I feel like, especially in those tight games where we're very much in it, and maybe even in the ascendancy, we tend to kind of go on to win, or at least get a point. And when we do lose, we usually lose in less than flattering circumstances. But today, I mean, I felt like we carried off, albeit in a fairly different game in terms of style. We really carried on where we left off from the Watford game. I don't know what's happened. Maybe it's players coming back from injury, or that and a combination of, I think, certain players just finally settling in, especially the likes of Negley, and I do think Ballo actually, slowly but surely, although he's still a bit hit and miss. But we look so much more composed on the ball. Our movement and passing today, I thought, was excellent. I mean, how far we have come in a little under a year. The way that we move the ball about now, it just gets better and better every week. We very much look like, and we have done for the past 3 games, we very much look like a top 6 side, and not sort of upstarts punching above their weight. And if we continue to put in the manner of the performances that we've put in the past 3 games, I think top 6 is ours for the taking, to be honest. Albeit, I think we do need a couple of additions. There was a noticeable drop off in attacking quality, especially on the left when Amarku came on. Bless him, willing runner, but not good enough for this level. Might never be. But yeah, I was really, really impressed by our performance. Special mention to Kamil Negley, who I think again goes from strength to strength, playing in a range of central kind of attacking positions. His ability to find space and get us moving is excellent. Same for Billy Mitchell, who I thought did fade a bit in the second half, but again just keeps us ticking over. Mihailo Ivanovic, Jekyll and Hyde a little bit, running fantastic, winning the aerial duels, real fucking nuisance up front. Brilliant finish for the goal, but maybe should be sticking that second half chance away. Also, horrendous pass at the start of the game when we could have taken the lead. He got all wrong, hit it well in front of Aziz when it looked like Aziz only had a tap in. But yeah, again, good to see him causing trouble. On to Charlton. That's going to be a very different sort of game, I think, because we are probably expected and likely to have a lot of possession. They are right in the shit at the moment. Lost again at home because they even against 10 men they lost. I think that could be an interesting one. We're probably going to need a bit of ingenuity from midfield to unlock them and get that first goal. And if we do get that first goal, I think I could see us running out comprehensive victors. But we'll see. It's a derby. Anything can happen. All right, Nick. Cheers. Take care.
Morning, Nick. It's just Adam Wicks here, just leaving my thoughts after last night's 2-1 defeat to Coventry. I think firstly for me, I'm actually not downbeat at all actually after that loss. I thought we acquitted ourselves incredibly well during that game. It was a hell of a game to watch, to be fair. It was end to end, lots of quality on display from both teams, really. I thought, they're obviously top for a reason. They've got players coming off the bench that would be starters for us, and we've got players starting who wouldn't even get on their bench. I think in a couple of instances, and that's really the difference. When we started to tire, they brought on Sakamoto, bought on Torp, bought on I know Ellis Sims come on after the goal, but they bought Sims on, bought Brandon Thomas Asante. I mean, these are all players that would be playing for us, I think, from the get-go. And that's the difference. We got tired. The players put in a monumental shift. I think it's really, it was a performance for any of us to be proud of. I think we can't, we only ever ask that they really give it a go and go toe to toe with whoever they're playing, and we definitely saw that. And I think we're coming into that time of the season now, where I appreciate it was Coventry, but teams need to start picking points up, and a draw isn't necessarily good enough for your teams that are lower down the table. And this is, I think, one of the reasons why we tend to finish seasons reasonably well. I think we struggle in that first half because when we're playing against essentially, poorer sides, they implement that sort of low block, sit deep, and we do struggle with that sort of intricate breakdown, thread our way through. We seem to absolutely thrive when we're when we're sort of sitting off a little bit like we were last night, just trying to absorb and then hitting teams on, transitioning really quickly. We've got some serious pace in the team now, and causing some damage. And I think that is why I think that's why we do better at the tail end of the season. I think I'm really looking forward to seeing how we finish. Obviously got players coming back in, which is great. Just be nice to get one or two in the door. I still think, obviously with Bender going, we're surely going to get a goalie in, and I really hope it's someone of quality. Perhaps a left winger, because Ballo seems to be a bit off, and Mack who doesn't really do it for me, to be honest. But he does have his moments. But I think, if we're serious, we need to be a little, we need to be ruthless, and we need to make a few ruthless decisions, I think, and just make a couple of upgrades and, farm a few people out if we have to. It's just what we've got to do. The good teams would do it. So, but I think, just to finish up, I got no criticism of anybody last night at all. I thought they were fantastic. Love the effort. I love the swashbuckling style of football that we are playing. And this, to me, is really what a Millwall team should be about. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to Saturday and all the rest of the games for the season. Come on, you Lions.
Well, achtungmillwall, Bobby T, Nick Hart. I'm at my mum's house. I'm slightly fucking pissed off, to be honest with you. You ask me. Yeah, we've lost that. Apparently, we're the better team in the second half. Mahala doesn't pass in the first half to go on the lap. He's greedy. Scored a great goal. SA, you come, and again, SA, apparently, Nick Hart, you were saying, baller this, or good youngster, we let him go. We all knew tonight on the wall, it was on the wall, we knew he was going to score. Celebrating annoyed me. If I see him, you know what's going to happen. But otherwise, I think they're top for a reason, mate. So, gutted. Saturday night is a must-win, basically, against the Anoraks. Wrexham, this playoff picture is getting a bit puzzled now. Everyone's squeezing in. And now we ain't getting second. Anyway, unlucky Millwall. Love you. Bobby T, bye. Achtungmillwall, Bobby T, Nick Hart. I'm very calm and cool. We played outstanding, apparently. I wasn't there tonight. I was at work. But you know what? He put on Alfie Doherty, 86 minutes. Sorry, Alex Neil. Great performance, great thingy, but Doherty should have started, mate. I'm sorry. Attacking flair. Go for Coventry. Don't worry. Saturday's massive now.
Hi, Nick. Craig from Costerdale, Dawlish. Well, I just found that very irritating, didn't you? Yeah, certainly didn't feel that we deserved to be on the end of a defeat, but at the same time, it was a lesson for us that we need to be clinical. I think that's kind of a running theme for a lot of our games, and obviously the last few seasons, to be fair, where we've only won games 1-0 a lot of the time because we just have that one opportunity, and out of 6, 7 perhaps. And definitely this season we've been creating a lot more, but just not putting it away. Yeah, we could talk about the potential chances that Sturge had, that certainly Ivanovic had. But end of the day, Coventry are top for a reason. And I think it goes to show that if you can put the ball in the back of the net in this league, more often than not, you're going to end up at the top half of the table. And we're getting the results based on our performances, but sometimes you don't get the performances that end with grabbing a point, which getting a point from Coventry would have been brilliant for us, to be honest. And again, we go behind and lose the game. And I think still Southampton game's the only game in the last year or so where we've actually come back and won the game. So an irritating statistic that I wish wasn't a constant for us. But anyway, what can we say about the players? Not really. We could say that could we say that they shirked the effort? Certainly not. Did they all put shift in? Most definitely. Did I feel that perhaps Ixnell could have brought on players like Coburn, Nora, and maybe they would have had a chance to maybe impact the game a bit more before Coventry score their second goal? Possibly. I don't think there was really much we could have done. I think I could tell that Ixnell has one eye, well, certainly one very beady eye on the Charlton game, because I think he knows at the back of his mind that if we were to risk getting a bad result or a bad performance against Charlton, which we need to just not think about the referee of that game, because that sends a shiver down my spine. But yeah, I think he needs to perhaps, he's probably thinking we could try and get a result at Coventry. All likelihood, are we going to? Because you only have to look at the players that Coventry were able to bring on were game changers that they brought on in one hit. Sakamoto, Torp, and Thomas Asante. The players that we were bringing on were like a game changer in Sakamoto, who was instrumental in causing us no end of grief. And I've got to say, Sturge was excellent against SA, but he was clearly knackered towards the end. And perhaps we should have had Doughty on much sooner as well. I think certainly for the last, I think he was only brought on 5 minutes before. Yeah, we should have had Doughty on much sooner, because it was clear that Sturge was starting to tire a lot, and we just can't compete with that level of quality throughout the whole squad, as well as consistency, and also the number of injuries we had. We're still trying to bring everyone up to match fitness. That's just such a tricky juggling act for Exeter. But on the whole, I think we could be very proud of the result. I've seen already a couple of comments where Millwall fans have said we deserve better. We were the better team. I would have to say it was pretty even, to be honest, but I think we gave a really good account of ourselves. I'll also say, any Coventry fans say we were the much better team. You weren't the much better team, and if you use statistics to point that out, having a previous background as a data analyst, you can paint data to create any narrative you want. You're creating your own narrative with statistics. Statistics only tell half of the story. I'm not saying that you were the better team or that we were the better team. I would just say it was a very even game, and that it wasn't as cut and dry as statistics point out. But there we go. Anyway, we were a Charlton game, and yeah, let's take this loss as a learning curve and also a confidence builder, because I know the players will be hurting. They've got to use that hurt as energy for the next game. And my God, they're going to need that energy against Charlton. Right, take it easy, Nick. Cheers.
Oh, hi, Nick. It's Martin Colwell giving his thoughts on the match versus Coventry. Did not see it, watched it on Sky. Yeah, really good performance, really going forward, giving it to Coventry. Unfortunately, we missed a bit of quality in the final third when we had those chances and we couldn't take them. Although our goal was great, we had some other chances, or some potential other chances from crosses that we didn't have the quality to put away, like in the end Coventry did. I think that you can see the difference in the teams in not just the subs they brought on, but you know, they had players who had that quality at the top that we don't have in depth. You know, Macaulay Langstaff, Tierra Ballo and Aiden Marco, they try hard, but they haven't got the quality of the players that Coventry have got. But that's what we need to aspire to if we want to be promoted out of this division. You know, that's what's needed. And I think that opens up the question for the rest of the transfer window that I've already mentioned about the need for a striker, probably someone attacking from midfield, particularly on the left. And I think I've changed my mind on the goalkeeper. I think we need a better goalkeeper. I think a couple of the goals we conceded, perhaps Max Crocombe could have parried out to the side or stopped and not given them the chance to, because both their goals were knock-ins, weren't they? But yeah, as I say, we were breaking well. Completely different game to what we'll have on Saturday against Charlton, where they'll sit in. But we were breaking well. But as I say, we had a bit of lack of quality with the final ball, excluding Femi Aziz. But we had a couple of chances there and a bit more composure in front of goal, and we're probably there. But there you go. That's the learning curve we're on in terms of trying to push towards the playoffs, isn't it? It's not a thing you can do, straight away by spending money. Which we're seeing teams like Birmingham and Wrexham do that, but they're not there either. So it's a gradual process. But yeah, as I say, there were some obvious positions we need to strengthen, don't we? That I've just mentioned. I thought generally the defence did well. Not sure they could have cleared the 2 goals. As I say, I thought the goalie could have done better. Midfield, I thought we should have brought Casper De Nora on a bit earlier to sit in that midfield, and Alfie Doughty as well. I would have put Casper on, and I would have put Alfie Doughty on the left, taken off Ballo and taken off Negley. And then I understand giving Josh Coburn 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I understand that, and we need him for Saturday anyway because we're going to have to break Charlton down. But yeah, I would have liked to see them come on a bit earlier. But yeah, it's all promising stuff, isn't it? I know we can't win every game, so we've got to accept losses, and the goal is top 6, because I don't think we're good enough. Certainly we're not good enough with the current squad to be top 2. Top 6, but as I say, we need a little bit more, or a bit more, for that final push. Man of the match. Difficult one, really. I'd probably... a lot of them played well. Probably give it to Femi Aziz because of his danger. Although, Billy Mitchell had a really good game in midfield, as did the defence, really. But yeah, let's try to get behind the team for those next steps. I think we do need to get those signings in, obviously soon, because the transfer window's running out. And I think the crowd could not turn on the club if they don't sign anyone, but you know what I mean? It's, that not signing someone will be blamed if we don't make it. But yeah, a bit worried about Jake Coburn's fragility, because I thought after the win at Watford, we could have given him a bit more, but they must be worried about them. And they must be also worried about Femi Aziz, because, he looked like he was okay and he looked like he kept going, but they took him off as well, didn't it? So there must be some fragility there as well. But yeah, onwards and upwards. Really looking forward to the game against Charlton. Love these local derbies, and it's a proper local derby. Because of their closeness to it. And a lot of people like me, when I was a boy, our dads would have taken us to Millwall as our first club, and then Charlton, as our second club in those days, because it was cheap to get in and we lived, in the local area. But yeah, really looking forward to playing Charlton. But we do need to beat them. We do need to break them down. I think if we can get in the lead against them, we'll be okay. But, as the game goes on, it could be a bit itchy and scratchy, couldn't it? Anyway, Nick, all the best to everyone else, and come on, you Lions.
Achtung, Millwall.
Who do you want to watch?